Bottom of the hour now, and we're following breaking news on NBC News Daily.
A jury has reached a verdict in the trial of Scot Peterson, finding him not guilty on all counts. Peterson is the former school resource deputy who was on duty, the only school resource officer who was armed during the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, the shooting that happened in February of 2018.
Scot Peterson was accused of neglecting to follow his training. Prosecutors said as a teenage gunman killed 17 people on that Valentine's Day 2017. And take a look at this video just in. That is Peterson reacting to the not guilty verdicts read out just moments ago. Let's bring back NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos as we watch that video. Danny, what do you make of the verdict?
Candidly, this is what I expected, and here's why. We knew that they did call witnesses, several witnesses, the defense did, to testify that they were not sure where the shots were coming from. And that was a central theme of the defense, that the defendant hesitated because he didn't know where the shots were coming from. And given that the state has to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt, the mere fact that they may have called witnesses that said, we know exactly where the shooting was coming from, in that, I would argue to the jury, a tie goes to the defense, because the burden is to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that this person committed the crime charged. And if he didn't know where the shooting was coming from, he couldn't have reacted. He couldn't have gone in.
Can you talk about the potential precedent this verdict might set? Because he was, I think, thought to be the first law enforcement official to go on trial for something related to an action at a school shooting.
Actually, I think it's consistent with prior cases, not necessarily precedential, but generally speaking, juries are reluctant, and this is just anecdotal, reluctant to hold law enforcement responsible for failing to prevent crime. In fact, in American law, you can't sue police for failing to prevent a crime like a burglary of your house or something like that. And this, in a way, is consistent with that. We don't require that police automatically always defend us from all bad actors out there. And the defense's theory here was, even if there is such a duty, if he doesn't know where to go, how can he go protect these kids?
And it's hard to prove a negative, right? Like, if he had acted, it might have saved lives, which is what prosecutors tried to do in this case. They brought witnesses saying, you know, talking about how horrific the shooting was and that it might have been better if he had gone into the school.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's a separate point that you bring up, which is causation. Was his hesitation even a cause, in fact, or approximate foreseeable cause of these tragic, horrific deaths? Because keep in mind, we know everything now. He, while he was out there, didn't know what was going on. He thought there may have been shots fired, but he had no idea the carnage, the horror that was going on in that school, which sadly we all know now.
Yeah. Again, if you're just joining us, a jury has reached a verdict and found Scot Peterson not guilty on all counts, the school resource officer who was at Parkland during that horrible shooting. Danny Cevallos, thank you.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.